Welcome to today's Explainer. We're tackling a massive, literally game-changing shift happening right now in the world of human resources and corporate governance. Okay, let's dive into this. Picture, if you will, the classic HR department from, say, a decade ago, right? It probably involves a mountain of manila folders, endless, mind-numbing spreadsheets, and that one dreaded filing cabinet nobody wants to open because it's stuffed with thousands of pages of policy updates. Now, if you ever had to deal with internal policies, labor laws, or ethical standards, you know that compliance and governance are absolutely crucial. They're the essential pillars of an organization. But let's be totally honest here, managing them used to be a completely reactive, dreaded chore. Well, today we're looking at how that entire dynamic is undergoing a complete transformation. We are moving away from the era of endless paper trails and into a highly sophisticated AI-driven strategy. AI is stepping in, not just as some background tool, but as a proactive project management framework to completely revolutionize how organizations align themselves.
So, historically, compliance felt a lot like trying to untangle a giant, chaotic knot. The traditional approach was heavily manual and honestly almost entirely retrospective. You were essentially looking in the rear-view mirror. What that means is you'd usually only find out about a critical mistake, like an expired certification or a completely missed training requirement, months after the fact. And because it relied entirely on human tracking, well, it was incredibly vulnerable to oversight. A massive headache for sure. But AI flips that script entirely, creating a stark night-and-day contrast. This new method turns compliance into a process that is proactive, fully automated, and deeply integrated into every single stage of the employee lifecycle. Instead of waiting for a mistake to actually happen, AI works in the present tense. It takes something abstract, dry, and often chaotic, and transforms it into a highly structured, seamless project complete with measurable checkpoints. It's literally the difference between doing a post-mortem on a problem and preventing that problem from ever happening in the first place.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Imagine the sheer panic of a surprise audit. Traditionally, that meant days, maybe even weeks, of scrambling around the office, frantically digging through emails, and manually cross-referencing files just to prove your company did everything right. It's totally exhausting. But when we look at the day-to-day mechanics of real-time risk mitigation with AI, that panic, it completely disappears. Instead of doing a frantic quarterly review, we now have AI policy monitoring that continuously scans all HR activities right there in the background. It's constantly checking for adherence to those incredibly complex, ever-changing labor laws, internal organizational policies, and diversity mandates. It never sleeps, and hey, it doesn't need a coffee break. And when it comes to those dreaded audits, AI acts as an invisible ledger. It effortlessly, automatically logs every single HR transaction to create these crystal-clear, transparent audit trails. So regulatory reviews go from being a weeks-long nightmare to incredibly simple, straightforward check-ins.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that we aren't just talking about keeping good records anymore. The evolution here goes much deeper, right into the realm of predictive analytics. By leveraging this kind of technology, AI creates a robust risk management framework that literally identifies potential compliance breaches before they even occur. I mean, think about the strategic power of that for a second. Let's say you have a super complex employee schedule spread across multiple locations. Predictive analytics might flag a pattern in scheduling that is just about to accidentally violate local overtime laws or union regulations. And the crazy part? It alerts you before the work week even ends. It catches the violation before the punch clock even registers it. This allows HR leaders to entirely shift their mindset. You go from playing defense and reacting to a sudden crisis to actively preventing breaches and mitigating risks early. You are solving the problem before it actually becomes a liability.
And this brilliantly illustrates how this advanced technology directly maps onto our most human priorities in the workplace. AI isn't just about cold, hard data. It's really about supporting core HR goals. For instance, it ensures that inclusion isn't just some corporate buzzword. By actively tracking diversity metrics and representation across all departments, AI provides the hard data needed to ensure those crucial inclusion goals are actually being met and sustained over time. Simultaneously, it locks down sensitive employee data. Workforce data privacy systems catch anomalies instantly, using heavy-duty encryption to safeguard personal information and stop potential data breaches dead in their tracks. All the while, it keeps the organization perfectly aligned with the latest shifting regulations. As a real-time monitor, it instantly alerts managers to new laws or shifting industry standards, so it perfectly links the human elements of HR, our people, our privacy, and our rules, directly to automated intelligent support.
So, the crucial point is that by orchestrating all of these elements we just discussed, the continuous monitoring, the invisible auditing, the predictive analytics, and the security protocols, AI elevates its own role entirely. It becomes the new compliance project manager. It's not just a passive software program sitting quietly on a desktop waiting for you to input something. No, it is an active, dynamic manager that embeds governance directly into the daily operational workflow of HR. And you know what's truly exciting? It's what this means for human HR professionals. By taking the heavy lifting of compliance off their plates, AI frees up human workers to do what they actually do best. They can finally focus on company culture, employee well-being, and high-level strategy, rather than getting buried under literal mountains of regulatory paperwork.
Ultimately, this completely redefines how we view corporate governance. Through this level of intelligent orchestration, AI turns compliance from a basic, begrudging operational requirement into a massive strategic advantage. When you build a framework with this level of automation and precision, you are essentially hardwiring 3 foundational pillars straight into your company's DNA: transparency, accountability, and trust. You aren't just telling people you run a tight ship, you are actively proving it. With clear audit trails, proactive risk mitigation, and real-time policy updates, you are proving to your employees, your stakeholders, and your regulators that you're operating at the highest possible ethical and legal standard. It builds a culture where everyone feels secure, simply because the safety nets are built right into the system itself.
We've seen how AI delivers unparalleled transparency and structure, completely revolutionizing how HR operates. It's a massive, undeniable step forward. But as we embrace this incredible technological leap, it leaves us with one really critical puzzle to solve. If AI is managing your compliance, who is auditing your AI? It's a fascinating challenge for the future of corporate trust, and definitely something every forward-thinking leader will need to carefully consider as we move into this new frontier. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking the right questions and keep learning.